Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today. I think I might possibly be a couple minutes late, so I apologize for that to start with. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I do these videos once a week. I'm broadcasting both to Facebook and to YouTube at the same time. So whichever platform you're watching, please like and share the video. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure you hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and sit back and relax, and let's make some pretty cards. So hold on a second. Let me get rid of this banner so I can make more room so you'll be able to see me better. And bring my comments on, and be sure that you say hello when you come on. All right. Today is Thursday, March 12th. Yes, March 12th, 2026. And I'm on my regular day today. So last week I was on a different day than what I normally am. So I usually do Thursdays. All right. So let's go ahead and start out with our housekeeping notes. And I didn't add my things that I was supposed to here. So let me do those if I can real quick. We've got a new paper pumpkin kit that started yesterday. And whoops, that's the wrong one. See, I should have had this all done ahead of time, and I don't. All right, let me go ahead and show you just the papers. So instead of trying to struggle here, I don't want to waste time. Okay, so let me put you down to my desktop. Oops. There we go. All right. We've got a new month for paper pumpkin, and I don't have it printed out here. Goodness. So I'm not prepared today, it looks like. Let me go back and find that. Yeah, it's the wrong one. I'm giving you a sneak peek of all of our months here. All right, this should be the right one. Yes. Lakeside Retreat. Okay, this one says that it says, show your appreciation for the men in your life with cards inspired by tranquil waterslide scenes. And you've got until April 10th to sign up for this paper pumpkin kit. And it makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces, and enamel pebble embellishments. Stamp set tailored to male recipients. So we never have enough man cards, so this will be good for that. And the Stampin' spot that comes with this is going to be Peaceful Pine. That's a sneak peek of one of our new in colors that's coming out. So, whoa, we get to see what that looks like. And this also coordinates with the Waterslide Retreat Suite collection, which is item number 167932. All right, now I'm going to switch my camera around and we'll do my desktop. Okay. All right, and along with the next 3 months, April, May, and June, we've got the add-on dies that are called, what are these called? Wonderful Scenes dies. I guess that makes sense. And the item number for that is 168665, and the price is $13. And these can only be added to your order if you are already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So you could sign up for this kit and add these on with your order. Something's going on here. All right, there you can see it, which it has maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. It comes with 4 dies, and it's got the word wonderful, and it's got, looks like for fireworks kind of die, and some flowers and butterflies, and then these little post sign holders. Those are kind of different. So that's 6 dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I counted right. 5 dies. All right. And then next we have the product of the month. Has just started for March. It is called Notes of Spring. It's a 2-step stamp set, so that's lots of fun. And this one kind of shows it a little bit better. I know my camera isn't showing it really good. So you can get this stamp set for only $5 when your order reaches $75. You can add that onto your order. And it says get it before it's gone. Okay, it's got 15 photopolymer stamps that are 2-step. We've got a deer, a goose, a rabbit, and then some grass, and then a couple of sentiments, well, 3 sentiments, especially for you, a little note of thanks, and happiest birthday wishes. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. All right, I think that's all the notes that we have going on, except I still want to invite you to join my team, which that is you pay $99 for your starter kit, and you pick out $125 worth of products, and that's free shipping on there. And I'd love to have you on my team. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And the link is also in the description of the video. Good morning, Aletta. Glad you're here. We're just getting started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've got 3 cards today. I don't think I'm doing any fun folds today. I don't know how I managed to do that. Usually I have at least one. All right. I hope you're able to see me okay. All right, so here's our first card. It's going to be just a note. And I didn't put any sentiment on the inside. I left that blank so we can write a little note like it says. So let's go ahead and get started with that. And I'll take my directions out of here so I can see what I'm doing. And we'll get started. Okay, my card base is going to be using one of our in colors that's going to be disappearing on us in our next catalog. This is, let me get my colors right here. Summer Splash is our card base, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to take our bone folder and burnish that fold line. And we're going to go portrait style. And then I've got a basic white. Oh, wait, we got one more layer here first before we get to the white one. We've got Shy Shamrock, which measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's going to be our matting that goes on our card front. And then I've got our basic white, which it measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/8 inches. And that'll go onto the mat of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that first, set these aside. And first off, we want to stamp our sentiment. Oh, I didn't show you which stamp set we're using. This is one of our older ones that have been in the catalog for a while. This is the Natural Botanicals, and it's a 2-step stamping. And also, I'm using the embossing folder, which is the exposed brick. So first off, we're going to stamp just a note. And this comes from the Lovely Arrangements stamp set. We're going to be using just a note and then That's all we're using out of this one, just that one sentiment. All right, get myself together here. I grabbed the wrong one. My husband was distracting me. He just came in the house. Doesn't he know I'm going live? All right, so we're going to use black memento ink. Whoops, I got the wrong one. Just a note. Right here. Just a note. Black memento ink. And I'm going to stamp it the lower left-hand corner. Close that up for now. And then I'm going to grab one of those large leaves. All right, I've got one stamp I didn't put on there. Let me grab this larger one here. We'll start with that. And grab an acrylic block. And these are the two-step. You can turn them over and stamp the back side for the filled in area. So we're going to turn that over. And this block isn't big enough. Let me grab a bigger one. Well, this one's really kind of too big, but we're going to use it. All right. And our ink pads are going to be same colors, the Shy Shamrock and the Summer Splash. And I'm going to start out with the Summer Splash. Set that aside for a moment. Oops, that's the one we're going to be using. Now we'll just ink that up. And I'm going to stamp that at the bottom here. I think I'm going to stamp this off. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper here. Yeah, I want the lighter. So stamp it off once. And then we're going to stamp that on the right side, lower right. I'll do that right now, so put that away. And next, we're going to grab the leaf-looking one. And this is going to be done with the Shy Shamrock. And I don't need the back side of that. That's not going to be a two-step. We're going to use the front side of it. Ink that all up. And then we're going to stamp it on top of our solid leaf. I'm kind of matching up the stems at the bottom. And we'll stamp it one more time. But I'm going to stamp it a bit lower. All right. Set that aside. We're done with this pad. All right. And I'm going to run this through my large machine, my embossing, cut and emboss machine. And I'm just going to use the bottom plate and our number 4 plate, which is for our 3D embossing folders. And what did I do with my embossing folder? I'm going to put that in here. And then I'll run that through. Make sure you don't have your embossing folder sticking out the sides because it will cut it. I don't normally use that big machine in my lives because it's kind of awkward and takes up a lot of room. But I wanted to be able to do stamping first before I embossed it, so it was hard to do things ahead of time with this one. All right, so here's what that looks like after it's embossed. You can kind of see a little bit on the camera. All right, now we're going to bring our card back over here, and we're going to attach this white layer to the Shy Shamrock layer. So I'm getting low on my glue today. I'm hoping I finish all my cards with what I've got, because I've got some on order, but they haven't came in yet. So I'll try to use it sparingly so we don't run out. And we're just going to situate that on there, leaving a margin, same margin all the way around. And more on the back of this, put it to the front of our card. We've got a nice sunshiny day today. We've been having storms the last couple days, but we were spared by any bad stuff, so that's good. All right, so here so far, but we're not done yet. We're going to get a scrap of that basic white, and we're going to stamp the daisy. I guess it's a daisy, using our Darn Reckling ink pad. And this too is a reversible one, so I've got it on just the regular side. And ink that up really good. I can cover that back up again. And I'm going to bring my scissors over here, and we're going to do some fussy cutting. Let me cut this out smaller to be able to work with it. And we're just going to leave a small border edge of white around it. I guess I could have had this done ahead of time, but we're okay today. Hope you're all doing fine today. Be sure to get all your ink refills purchased before they're retired on us. And the colors are Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, and Petunia Pop are the colors, 5 colors that are going to be retiring. So you want to make sure you've got your ink refills before they run out. They do sell out pretty fast, so just want to make you aware of that. All right, and then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I've got a brand new sheet here, so we're going to break them open. And I think I'll put one more up here. And do I want to put some on the stem? I think I do. I'm going to cut a small sliver of the dimensional here. And we'll put that on the stem of the flower just to hold it up so it doesn't sink on us. All right, but before we do that, we want to add our Baker's Twine. This is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, and I'm going to be using the white. It comes in crumb cake, white, black, gray granite, and berry vanilla. But I want the white, so let's put that out of there. And of course, it's way at the bottom. Make me work for it. Okay, and I already did make a bow on that, so we don't have to do that. I made a double bow. Let me get it straightened out here. And we're going to attach that to that flowers right there, that stem. And I'm going to use mini glue dots. And I'm going to take your pick tool to pop those off. And right about there looks good. You don't want to cover up your sentiments. I'm kind of putting it at an angle. I'll take the backings off these dimensionals. I'm going to place the flower at an angle. As you can see. All right, and then next we're going to add a little bit of bling to that front, to that card. And these are the low profile sparkle dots. These are in the last chance. They were $9.50. Now they're marked down to $7.60. We've got Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow, and Darling Duckling. So we're going to use the Darling Duckling. And I take your pick tool to get those off. And I'm going to place 3 of them down on my card front. So I'm going to put a larger one up here, and then a small one at the top left corner, and a large one right about there next to the leaf. All right, so there's the front of our card. And let's work on the inside. I've got a basic white that's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to stamp that flower again on the inside using the Darling Duckling ink pad. We'll just stamp one down in the bottom right corner. And that'll give you room to write a little note inside of your card. Or you could put a sentiment in there if you'd like. Okay, so there's our first card. Just a note. And then a little flower on the inside. Okay, let me clean this up and we'll get on to our next card. Clean up my scraps here. Okay, our next one is going to be a birthday card. And I'm using the With You in Mind. This is another stamp set that's been in the catalog for a while. And also I'm using the linen, lasting linen stamp set. Supplies out here. And I'm going to be using our new Stampin' Positioner tool that was in our promotion last month for signing up, but it is going to come back being available to customers, but we don't have a date yet, so I apologize for the wait. I know everybody's been waiting for the new one to come out. So we're going to start out with, let's just set that aside and show you the card first. Happy birthday. And best wishes on the inside. Okay. My instructions. All right. I'm starting out with our card base, which is Pretty Peacock. And that measures 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored at 4 1/4 inches. We're going to burnish that fold line. And this one's going to go landscape. All right. And then I've got our basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to start stamping using our Pretty Peacock ink pad, which I've got buried here. Let me find that. Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to take my platform here and put my cardstock down. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' seal on the back of it because it's a full-size stamping that I want to do. So I use my Stampin' seal to hold it in place. And line that up. And grab our stamp out of here. All right, then I'm going to place that down over my basic white layer. Okay. And lifted it a little bit, so we're going to place that back down in place. And we'll ink that up with our Pretty Peacock. Good coverage on that. And of course I got to stick my finger in the ink. And I'll turn that over. Oops, I hit the camera. My nose is itching today. Does that mean I'm going to kiss a fool? I think that's what the old wives' tale said. All right. And I think that looks good. You could do it again if you wanted it a little bit more coverage, but I'm good with just the way it is. We'll set that out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. I never did find mine from Stampin' Up. It's here somewhere. So I had an order going into Amazon. So I just went ahead and ordered it off of Amazon. Not bad. I got 2 of them, I think, for, I don't know, is it $7 or something? So it works. All right, now we're going to stamp our cupcake, our star, and a heart. I think it's just those 3. Yeah. And I'm going to start out using Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pretty Peacock, which is right here. So 3 colors. I'm going to start with the star, and that'll be the Pretty Peacock. And I was going to alternate stamping those around my card front. And I'm going to turn them as I'm stamping to give it a little different view. right. So 2, 4, 5. I do odd numbers. And then I'm going to go with the hearts. And stamp those. And again, I'm going to do odd numbers. And my daughter must have forgotten I'm doing live today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give it to Dad. Okay, now I've got our cupcake, which is going to be Melon Mambo. Everybody's bothering me today. First the husband and now the daughter. Oh well, that's life. And we're going to stamp the cupcake with Melon Mambo. And 4, 5. And I think I'm going to sneak in another one right here at the edge. 2, 4, 6. Let's do one more somewhere. Right there. That was probably an overkill. Probably didn't need that one. All right, so this is going to go onto the card front. And I'm going to get this out of the way because it's got ink on there. I don't want to transfer my ink onto anything here. Very pretty day today. I'm enjoying the sunshine. How's the weather where you are? All right, so that's onto our card front. And now I have a basic white that I've cut out using the Nested Essentials dies. And I'm using the larger one. I'm not sure what shape these are. And I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday using our Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to center that onto that label. It's hard to tell which way is straight, but I'm going with a happy, trying to keep that as straight as I can. All right, and as long as I have the ink out, I might as well do the inside. This is our basic white again. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I want to stamp Best Wishes on the inside using the Pretty Peacock ink pad. And I'm going to put that upper left side. And I'm going to stamp a cupcake at the bottom right-hand corner using the Melon Mambo. All right, now we'll set that aside and we'll start putting this together. I didn't even pop anything up on this card, so it's going to be all glued directly down. But you could put it up on dimensionals if you want. And then I'm going to add, for my embellishments, I'm using the faceted snowflakes. And these are in the last chance section also, but they're not marked down, just the regular price, $10. And I'm going to use the green. So I'm going to use a large one here and a small one above that at an angle, and then another large one at this bottom corner. All right, so there's the front of our card. This could be for either a boy or a girl, really. I don't think it makes much difference. Maybe the cupcakes would be more girlish, I don't know. You can maybe change the color of those to something that's more boyish. All right, and then we'll put our inside layer inside of our card. And then we're done with card number 2. I didn't add any ribbon to it. I just left it with just the embellishments instead. Happy birthday, best wishes. All right, so that's card number 2. And the next one we're going to get messy with. So let me get everything out of the way here that needs to stay out of my way. And I'll show you what we're going to be doing. I'm using the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. And it's, I would see it better on the paper here. This is an online exclusive. And it's a 3D sunflower embossing folder. All right, so we're going to start out with our card base, which measures, I got to get my instructions here. We're using the dark Daffodil Delight, and this one is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5.5 inches. This is going to be a thank you card. I didn't say that. It says thank you so very much. And the stamp set that I'm using is the Lovely Arrangements. So I'm using the thank you right here and so very much. 2 sentiments out of here. And we're going to go with it opening this way. And then I've got a layer of Granny Apple Green, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And that'll be the mat that goes on the front of this. So let's go ahead and attach that. We can get that out of the way. And keep a small border going around the edges. And I'm going to set that aside for now. And we're going to work on our embossed layer. This is our basic white. And it measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I've already embossed it already. Okay. So this is the embossed, is where it's kind of sticking up. We're going to use the debossed side where it's kind of sunken in. And I'm going to color those using our blending brushes. But I'm going to bring my scrap paper back over here to use so we don't get our work surface all messy. And close up the glue for now. And the colors that I'm using are going to be Granny Apple Green, Early Espresso, Timid Tiger, and Daffodil Delight. Is that what I have? Yes. Okay, so 4 colors. Daffodil Delight, Timid Tiger, and Granny Apple Green, and then Early Espresso are our colors. I'm going to start out coloring the flowers. And got my brushes here. I'm going to start out with our Daffodil Delight ink pad. And tap, tap, tap. And then I'm going to do our flowers. It doesn't have to be perfect because a lot of it's not going to show anyway. So don't worry about getting outside the lines. And I'm just doing the flowers. I'm just looking to see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. All right, so we're done with the Daffodil Delight. And now I'm going to bring the Timid Tiger. We're going to do that for the centers of the flowers. And again, don't worry about going outside the lines. It all comes together at the end. All right, so that's all of those. We get a little bit more over here. All right, Timid Tiger, we're done with you. Now the Granny Apple Green is going to be our leaves. And again, do the leaves. And some right there. Do we have another leaf here? I think I got most of them. We'll get some right there. All right, so we're done with our blending brushes. And now we're going to take our Early Espresso and we're going to drag that across this. So you want to use the one edge of it and just lightly drag it. Okay, once on each side is good. And I'm going to let that sit for a moment to dry. You could use your heat gun to speed it up a little bit, but I think it's good. Got ink all over my hands here. All right, so let's bring our card back over here. And while I'm at it, I could do the inside. So let me do that while that dries just a bit. Okay, we got our basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to stamp that so very much on the inside. And I'm going to use the Early Espresso ink pad. And I'm going to stamp that upper left side, but I'm going to leave a little bigger edge on that left side. We're going to put some paper down, a strip down. Did I cut this down yet? I'll see what that measures. So 3 3/4. I've already cut it down. And 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So that's the right measurement. Because I had an extra piece from my previous sample. This is the piece that's cut off of that one that's embossed already. And this is 1/4 inch by 4 inches. We're going to put that on the side here. So we'll go ahead and do that. And flip that over and trim that excess off. All right, we'll go ahead and put that in the inside of our card. Give that a little extra time to dry. Make sure I don't have it upside down. We're good. All right, I think we can put that onto our card front now. And I'm just trying to figure out which way I want it to go. I think this way. I love doing this technique with the embossed layer. And you could use what other colors you wanted to. It doesn't have to be what I used. It could be whatever colors that you like. Just kind of play around with it and get some ideas. Pressing that down good to make sure it attaches. Embossed layers take a little longer to attach. Okay. I think it's pretty. What do you think? All right, and then I'm going to, I didn't have a green strip here. Let me grab this one. This is about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm hoping I can fit my thank you onto there. I'm going to have to cut another one. It's pretty tight there. I don't believe I don't have that one. Let me grab my Granny Apple Green. If I have a scrap in here anywhere. Yeah. Paper trimmer. I'm going to cut that to 1/4 inch. Well, maybe a 1/2 inch. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So, and I'm not worried about the length right now because we're going to chop that off. All right, thank you. And early espresso ink pad. Bring that down here. So I think a 1/2 inch is good. Yeah, good spacing. And scissors to whack that off. And I'm going to do the other part at an angle. It's going to go on here, but first we're going to add some ribbon. And I'm using the Timid Tiger faux linen ribbon. And I need some tear and tape. In this package here, and we'll grab some out of there. I'm going to use that to hold my ribbon. So figure out where I want to place it. Probably right about there. Looks good. Just eyeballing it. Pull that stripping off. And I'm going to start zigzagging our ribbon. not that good at doing these, so hopefully it looks all right when we're done. And I'm going to snip that off and cut this one at an angle. And this we're going to place on dimensionals, which I have misplaced. Here they are. I'm going to put 3. And then we're going to place that down on top of our ribbon. And we're going to use some embellishments. We're using the streak dots. These are in the last chance. They were $9. They're marked down to $8.10. And we're going to grab 3 of those. So 2 large ones and a small one. And it's 2 on this side and a small one over here on our sentiment, right at the edge. So thank you so very much on the inside. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today. Be sure you like and share the video, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube if you haven't yet. I'm trying to get these cards out here so we can see what we've done today. All right, we've got just a note, happy birthday, and a thank you. All right, so thank you for being here today. Y'all have a good rest of your week, and I hope you get some time in there to do some crafting and have some me time. And until next week, which will be March, what is the date next week? Gotta get my calendar out here. It'll be March 19th, 2026. That's Thursday. I will be back with some new ideas for you. And I'm supposed to be getting a new order coming in, I think, Tuesday. So I'm hoping what I got coming, I can work something out for my live on Thursday. Sometimes it goes good, sometimes it don't. It takes me sometimes longer to come up with ideas. So until then, I thank you for being here today. Bye-bye.